Hey everyone! This video I just wanted to chat to you guys about one-on-ones with your employees. I had a really good coaching session with one of my clients about a week ago. They were struggling with engagement with their team and had had some turmoil and a bit of staff turnover, and we wanted to make sure that we could turn that around and ensure that we didn't get the domino effect moving forward and start to really build a solid foundation with the new employees coming on. So my number one recommendation to him that needed to happen with the current staff straight away was about doing one-on-ones. Now, a lot of managers go, I don't have time, I'm so busy, but I can tell you right now that investing the 30 minutes every week with them is going to not only buy you loyalty and engagement, but it's going to save you a lot of time in the long run because you won't have to answer questions sporadically through the week, and you will build trust with them. They will know that you're there for them and that you've got their back and that they are important to you. Okay, so what's the key things about one-on-ones? They're regularly scheduled. So you should have it in your calendar and their calendar to occur at the same time every single week. Obviously, if a really big meeting comes up, then it's able to be changed. But by having it in there, everyone knows to prepare for it and knows that it's important. They should only be missed if there's something really, really important to the business that needs to be done. Okay? The primary focus is on the team member and getting to know them and who they are. It's not about the greater picture of the business. Okay? You must make notes and obviously follow up. This is absolutely crucial. Okay? So I would suggest with nearly every manager, it should be weekly with every single team member, every direct that reports to you. Okay? This is not to be done in a public place. So this is not something that you should be doing just where everyone can hear you. Now, it can be at a coffee shop, but it needs to be where no other employees are going to go. Okay? So it needs to be secluded for you guys, but it doesn't need to be like in a locked office. It's not that formal. Okay? So it's not a review or anything like that. Okay? And definitely not at their desk. So when I said 30 minutes, how does that work? It should be 10 minutes for them, 10 minutes for you, and 10 minutes on their career growth and development. Okay? So you need to think about these things before you go into the meeting. Just ask yourself some questions. What do my follow-up notes say that I need to check in on? What do I need to be sure I communicate? So is there anything that's in their behavior or their projects, any issues? Or, very importantly, any feedback. So what's the positive feedback? You must have some positive feedback for each of these sessions. Find something. Otherwise, you probably should be scheduling a performance review instead. What corrective feedback are you going to give them? And is there anything that you can delegate? So is there a project or task that you could give to them which is actually going to help them grow or make them feel empowered? And is there anything else that you should be doing for their career growth? Any advice you should be giving? Or any tools you should be directing them to? Okay? So think about it. Some questions. What could you ask them? You could ask them, tell me about your week. What's it been like? That's a really nice open question. That makes them feel like they're valued, but also it just gets them talking, and you can get a real sense and you can see if the walls are up. Tell me about your family and your weekend. Now, a lot of managers are like, I don't care. I'm here for work. I don't give a shit about what their weekend and that. But it gives you an insight into their mindset and where they're going. If they've had a really tumultuous weekend, if they've moved house, if they're super stressed, you'll know how you can best support them so that they can be the most productive for you. There should not be an us and them mentality. It shouldn't be a work and life mentality. There should be a blend. As much as we try, people try to check shit at the door, it doesn't happen. We can't help but carry that emotion and that energy into business. So you want to know what there's like. And if you can get them lit up and show them you genuinely care, that's where you're going to buy the loyalty as well. By doing those questions and building the trust as well, obviously be genuine. It's not false trust, and don't have false pretend you're interested just for the sake of it. That will be see-through as fuck. Ask them then what they've stumbled over. What's something that they're struggling with? Have they had any issues? Tell me about what you've been working on. Is there a drama there? Like what's a struggle for you? What can I support you on? Can you give me an update on the project? What questions do you have? Where would I be helpful? How can I support you? Could I get you some knowledge? Do I need to introduce you to someone? Is there someone else on the team? Those types of things. Then you can ask them what their solution is and how they're going to approach it. And then you could give your thoughts around that. And then just generally ask for feedback on the project itself and any ideas. You can then ask about deadlines, things like that. You can ask them what's worrying them and what suggestions. And if they made a mistake, if there was a leak, make it open for them to tell you when there's fuck-ups. Because the best businesses have the culture of owning their mistakes, being able to speak freely about them, and then to find the solution. So fail forward. So let them have that opportunity to tell you about that, because that's how they're going to learn. And that's how you're going to have open and transparentness and take away anxiety. And that's where you can help the most, right? So you can go, oh my God, I did this and this was such a big mistake. And this is what I don't know what to do. What should I do? And then they can ask you for help and you can give help, and it nips things in the bud so much quicker. Okay? I would suggest make yourself like just a little one-page form that you can use every time. I used to do this on an iPad because I like to handwrite on an iPad and we were paperless office. I don't really like tapping away on a keyboard because it puts a barrier between you. So you can handwrite it. I love the iPad, but do what works for you, because something is better than nothing. But it's good to have a format that you follow and a structure so that then you can also refer back to it the following week. And it doesn't need to be typed. You can just go back to your handwritten ones. Okay? So they're my couple of little tips on building rapport with your one-on-ones, taking away your headaches. The other thing I did say about that is the questions. So that way, any burning questions they can write down to speak to you about in the meeting, or if you've got an online agenda, I use Asana for the agenda. They can pop those questions in there to ask you at that time. And that often means that they will go and find the solutions, because the question they had on Monday, unless it's like an urgent, must get your actual feedback on question, they'll find the solution by the time they meet you on Thursday. So you eliminate all the shit questions and the ones that they could have thought for themselves, and you're empowering them as well. So they're my solutions on building rapport with your team, getting loyalty, getting a culture, making them more connected to you, and alleviating some of your management headaches. I hope they help. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to know what you do for one-on-ones.